I'm going to review how to multiply and divide fractions. So for this first example, I'm multiplying a negative 1/3 times positive 6/11. I'm actually going to show you two different ways that you can do this, and you'll still get the same result. For someone who struggles with fractions, I would recommend just multiplying straight across. Anytime you see multiplication, just multiply straight across. That's all you have to do when multiplying fractions. You do not need a common denominator. That would honestly be a waste of time, and it'll end up giving you more work in the end. So just leave the fractions as is and multiply straight across. Negative times positive is negative. I've got 1 times 6 in the numerator and 3 times 11 in the denominator. Just like when you add or subtract fractions, you need to make sure that you simplify in the end if possible. 6 and 33 are both divisible by 3. So that becomes negative 2/11 when you divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3. Now, just to clarify, in case, again, you're a little uneasy when it comes to fractions, you are allowed to put the negative sign wherever in the fraction, as long as you only have one of them, because this is a negative answer. So I put the negative on top. You can have it in the numerator. You can have it next to the fraction. Or I wouldn't recommend this one, but you could also see the negative in the denominator. They're all the same fraction. Just make sure you only have one negative sign. So I promised another way to multiply fractions. I'm going to demonstrate that here. In the previous example, I finished the problem by reducing my fraction. In this example, I'm actually going to start by reducing. I notice that somewhere in the numerator and somewhere in the denominator, it doesn't matter which numerator and it doesn't matter which denominator, I see two numbers that have something in common. So there's a 6 somewhere in the numerators, there's a 3 somewhere in the denominators. Well, 3 and 6 are both divisible by 3. So I'm actually going to start this problem by dividing them both by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now I can skip to the other step where I multiply straight across, and I'm actually done because I've already got the simplifying out of the way. And you can see that it's the same answer as before. I was left with a 1 times 2 in the numerator and a 1 times 11 in the denominator. And then don't forget that this was a negative times a positive, so the answer is negative. I'm also going to go over dividing fractions. If you know how to multiply fractions, you know how to divide fractions. You just need to make sure that you set it up correctly before you do any multiplying. Maybe you've heard of keep, change, flip. That is what I'm going to do here. Keep means you're keeping the first fraction the same. Change means you are changing that division sign to a multiplication sign. Flip means you are flipping that second fraction, which is the same as what's called the reciprocal. So I keep 4/9. I change division to multiplication. I flip 7/3 and it becomes 3/7. And now I can multiply straight across. Again, if you're not comfortable with fractions, I would recommend just multiplying straight across whenever you can. I don't know what's wrong with my screen right there, but that's supposed to be a 63. Okay, that's a 63. So now I need to simplify if possible. It is possible here. Both of these numbers are divisible by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 63 divided by 3 is 21. And so the simplified answer is 4 over 21. If you chose to simplify before multiplying straight across, notice you have a 3 among the numerators and you have a 9 among the denominators. Those numbers have something in common. You can divide both of them by 3. That is not 3. 3 divided by 3 is not 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is what's 3. The screen not working really threw me off. I don't know why that's happening. So if I decide to simplify in the beginning, I end up with 4 times 1 in the numerator, and I end up with 3 times 7 in the denominator. So this last one that I'm going to do, even though I have a whole number involved, I'm still going to keep change flip because there's a fraction in there and there's a division sign in there. So anytime you are dividing with at least one fraction, you can keep change flip. Now, even though 10 is not a fraction, I can turn it into 1 by just putting it over 1. Anything divided by 1 stays the same. 10 divided by 1 is just 10. But I can put it over 1 in order to turn it into a fraction, and now I can keep change flip. So I keep 1 over 6, change division to multiplication, flip the 10, and it becomes 1 over 10. Like I said earlier, that's called the reciprocal. Reciprocal is 1 over the number. So that's why it was 1 over 10. Multiply straight across, and I cannot simplify 1 over 60.